This is Neil Schneider from Meant to Be Seen at CES 2017. To my immediate left, and I want to make sure I get this right, Andrew Barrow, Global Marketing Director, Strategy and Alliances for Lenovo. Welcome to the program, Andrew.
Hello.
Hello. So this sounds like a really major VR year, or I should say mixed reality year, for Lenovo, and you've got a lot on the Lenovo plate. So
obviously, we're innovators. We like to drive innovation. We're trying to add new innovation. Obviously, there's existing platforms, content out there today. We're trying to expand on that and really trying to make it more relevant to a wider audience with some of the stuff we're launching today at CES.
Okay, good stuff. And you've got prototypes in the works, stuff that isn't launched, but it's, obviously there's a lot of media attention around it. Let's start with we'll call it, I guess we'd call it a mixed reality device. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so as announced by Microsoft in October, we're partnering with a few other OEMs to launch a head-mounted display. So this will be a VR headset. Trying to bring it to more mainstream. The target is to try and drop the cost of running VR and AR solutions. So mixed reality, try and make it more mainstream. That product will be launching later in the year. We've got a prototype here on display, but it's still working out to make sure it's the best ergonomic fit. Make sure that it's very comfortable. If you're wearing it for a couple of hours, you want to make sure it's obviously very comfortable. So.
Now, this isn't just an additional head-mounted display for the market. It's obviously got some functionality there that I think is unique. Can you tell us what can you tell us about it so far?
Well, obviously it's being developed in partnership with Microsoft. Obviously it's designed to leverage some of the new features that are coming within Windows 10 to try and again make the mixed reality more mainstream and bring it into the mainstream in terms of not just high-end gaming today where you need very expensive headsets.
So for those unfamiliar, can you explain what mixed reality is?
So basically, you have AR. AR is very simple. AR, you can look through the device, and it's adding additional content onto what you're seeing. VR is you can't see through the device. Everything you see is on screens in front of your eyes. So it's a virtual world.
And mixed reality, is that something synonymous with AR? Or?
It's a sort of combination of two. I think it's obviously Microsoft with HoloLens, that you have the combination of AR and VR. So
now, something unique about this device, at least from what I've seen so far, is it doesn't require external cameras or devices. So what's it doing to make it tick?
Yeah, so it's obviously in terms of bringing the weight down, the cost point down, there's a lot of innovation built into the headset where you've actually got gyros and sensors to actually allow you to have 6 degrees of movement or 6 degrees of freedom. So left, right, up, down, back, forwards. Today, obviously, with the system we have here, this obviously has to have external sensors which sense where you are within the space.
So let me clarify a little more. They call it an inside-out tracking. Can you elaborate a little bit as to what that refers to?
Not really, no. I could start talking about it, but I would probably start making mistakes, so I'll just keep it very simple for now.
So really, but at the end of the day, anyone who chooses to purchase a head-mounted display when it's available, they don't need to have additional cameras, and it's all within the head mount.
So it's built into the head mount. I mean, it's still a tethered device, so you still have the constraints of the length of cables, which obviously attach you to the PC. But as obviously it's all built into the headset, the target is to bring it to more mainstream PCs. Obviously for VR systems today, you need to have very high-end GTX graphics, Core i7 CPUs. It's bringing it all to the mainstream price points.
The head-mount display, or this is a prototype, it's a work in development, but you've actually got other stuff announced as well. So what do we have on display here?
Yeah, so obviously we said today VR headsets are quite expensive. Obviously that's why the new headsets are coming out. Obviously one of the other limitations is the physical content that's available. So we're launching today on our new gaming PCs, the Lenovo Entertainment Hub. This allows you to give you a bigger library of content. So we've got for launch 200 2D games which you can upscale using the app on the PC. This allows you to use what you would do with the mouse movement, so for left, right, up, down, you can transpose that to using the headset. You physically still need to move using the keys within the game, but for the looking left, right, up, down, you can use the headset instead.
Is it stereoscopic, or is it still based on traditional 2D? How would you describe it?
So we're upscaling it, so effectively we're giving you a VR experience, a 3D experience, but with a 2D game.
Okay, so it used to be in the 3D days, they call it, like NVIDIA, for example, they have the NVIDIA 3D vision drivers and dynamic digital depth and this visual perception, there's all kinds of stuff. Is it a similar concept to that?
Yeah, I mean, yes, so there's some coding that needs to be done to reconfigure what would be the mouse movement into a head movement. So it's not full VR, but it's getting you closer. It's allowing you to play those older games you've got that you still want to play, but you want to get the experience of using the headset.
And what about performance? Is there any drop in performance in the game, or?
No, so again, obviously it's running on the high, because to run VR, you've got to have high-end graphics anyway, so that there's more than enough power in there to cope with the additional upscaling this has to do.
So with this capability, what you can do is you can take a 2D game and you can upscale it into a 3D environment. So when I'm moving my head around left to right, it's actually moving my character. I don't need to use the joysticks to actually go through and kill the or go through. You can use your head to actually maneuver and guide your weapon. So it really takes you more into the game and immerses you much further.
Okay, good stuff. So we're already seeing an option where we could take existing content and get it somewhat runnable in a virtual reality form. I take it this is there something special about this PC? I mean, we've got a wonderful notebook computer to my left. What can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so I said, obviously it's launching the Lenovo Entertainment Hub. Our new Legion brand, this is the Y720. This also has integrated Xbox controller receiver. So again, using the headset, it's much easier if you've got a physical controller in your hand, so again, a better experience. And also will be the world's first PC with Dolby Atmos. So again, a much more immersive experience for either movies or gaming. Has UHD panel, ultra portable. It will be Oculus certified when it goes into mass production. So again, we're trying to make it give you a much broader experience, better experience on our PCs, and obviously adding more and more innovation into those to make them more exciting.
Now, you mentioned Oculus certification. You're holding an HTC Vive.
Yes.
Are there any limitations on the hardware as to which HMDs it will work with?
No, so basically the specs are the same. The requirements in terms of the hardware are the same for all the VR headsets.
So one big question for you. I mean, we've got a head-mounted display in development. You've got computers now that are being deemed, call it VR ready, for a specific brand, but nonetheless. Why? Why is Lenovo pursuing this market out of all the successful markets it could be pursuing?
Obviously, we're number one in PC. We're not number one in gaming. We think this will help us move us to that position where we can really add some excitement and innovation to our PCs to make us a lot more relevant into that space. Obviously, we've done a lot of work with our insiders to really understand what makes a gamer tick, what they're looking for, and that's why we're adding all these features into the products.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Now, just to remind me, is there pricing announced on this yet?
Yes, so the 720 starts from $1399.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you very much indeed.
This is Neil Schneider, MTBS TV at CES 2017. We will, of course, be back with more.